I'm squashed.
Ray is he has
squashed.
He has a bad podcast, Ray DeVito. That's a fact, Jack. That's not even like up for debate. Ray's show is awful. It's just bad. It's not good. I couldn't believe it. I was watching it going, oh my God. It's unwatchable. Ray, you're not good. Who are these people you had on? These poor people. And then you subject them to this awful world we live in. And we cover. Like, what are these people?
Pakistan invaded them.
Hello.
To make it their part of their country. And the guy flew to India and signed a treaty with India to be part of India, because India is a secular democracy, whereas Pakistan is going to be an Islamic country. And ever since, there is this continued extremism.
This is the best part I found.
Where
the show. I'm not joking. This is the best part.
They say they're fighting for the freedom of Kashmir, but really their goal is to set up an Islamic country with Sharia law, just as they did in Pakistan and Bangladesh. And India doesn't want that to happen because there are about 40% of non-Muslims that live there.
I'm not joking.
And their lives would be miserable.
This is the part I was watching going, what the fuck is this?
Islamic country.
Look at Ray.
So that is really the tension.
Ray's not even
every
listening.
now and then, when both countries are at peace, a few extremists come into Kashmir and kill. Like recently, they came
Who's
and
watching this
they
on
literally
purpose?
targeted Hindus and killed them. And they're all.
Are you guys watching this on purpose?
So India is responding by bombing them.
Hello.
Geez, well, I hope it doesn't escalate. I hope.
So too. I hope it doesn't escalate too, because a lot of times it's the people in power that make these rules are fine. The extremists are hiding. Nothing happens to them. It's the actual people that are really trying to make a living that get affected by it.
Jesus, man.
Civilians, their initial attack, the civilians got hurt in that. So that's why it's becomes a serious issue. But always we don't want this.
Anyways, that was Ray's show from today. I have to tap out. I'm sorry. I think it's up for free. I don't know who's going to put that behind a paywall. I don't know who's going to go watch that on demand, but Jesus Christ, Ray, your show is terrible. That's not even up for debate. It's not even up for do you guys think Ray's show's bad? No, it's just bad. It's a bad show. Speaking of a bad show, today's the day, everybody. We're doing a show today. We're having it. Things are happening. Hit that like button if you're here. Open up your tabs, accept gifted memberships. We're going to do all of this today on the program. We have a guest today, and boy, are you guys speculating. Wow, I'm loving it. Ba-dum-bum-bum-bum. I'm loving it. Dan from Nice Podcast Stupid says, spoiler, it's Steel Toe. He's big mad at Melton and Nick. Nailed it. We'll be having Aaron Emholt. No, I'm kidding. I love that you guys are all guessing who it is. Not one person got it right. Not one person. I put up a poll. There's a poll because we love polls here. Fucking Lady KB loves polls, if you know what I mean. Get it? Dick? Penis? We have 458 people watching on YouTube. And we have people over on the X. We have 575 people total watching the show. This is a good time. The poll right now says, who is today's mystery guest? Right now at 39% Clearwater Chad, followed by Aaron Emholt at 22%, 20% Shuley, and at 19% Kevin Brennan. I'm here to say none of those people will be on the show today. Not one. I don't even know if this is a payoff guest. I don't know. People are saying Sam Tripoli. Some people are saying Tony Mazer. Some people are saying Brian McCarthy. A lot of people are saying all kinds of things. Some people are saying it's John Spencer. Who wants a membership? If you get a membership, thank that person in the chat. John Spencer's a good donor. He was shitting on Ray earlier. I loved it. Speaking of memberships, Bill from Jersey gifted one. Ladies and gentlemen, we are officially doing it. I love it when black people and white people hug. It's my favorite thing. So heartwarming to see races coming together. I'm the opposite of Cumia. Joel gifted one. Yeah. Joel. Thank you very much, Joel. You guys are great people. Doesn't it feel good gifting a membership? Like you're hooking somebody up. Then you feel like you're a high roller and you feel like you're like a baller. I love that feeling. I like taking care of people. Speaking of taking care of people, nobody let Kevin Brennan see this. Oh no, we're doing it. Thank you, Ken Mosca, for your support. Thank you very much for that. We're officially doing it. Ken's a good egg. He likes me. He's a good egg. He likes me. Ray's audition for English Vinglish too. That's pretty funny. Yeah. I mean, was that the cast of English Vinglish that he had on? I mean, what the fuck was that? I mean, how does he ask these people to come on a show? I don't know, man. Maybe because when I started the show, I quit having guests on because when I did Sit Down Zumock for 10 years, I was constantly having guests and it was a pain in the ass. And I said, I'm going to train the audience to not be used to having. I want to make sure if I don't have a guest that they're going to be cool. So that's why I did it solo for so long. I am a lonely 58-year-old woman who can't get men. Ouch. I don't think that's her. She doesn't like me. She says I'm not a good egg. I'm getting word from Bill from Jersey, your head moderator, that Girox got the membership. Girox, thank Bill from Jersey because you got a membership. So let's go.
Let's go.
Thank him, Girox, you cheap fuck from Montreal. Oh, he did. All right, fair enough. People are saying it was Girox is the guest for today. Nobody's gotten it right. Not one person has gotten the guest for today right. Wait, Ray DeVito is the guest. Nope. Carlos Danger? Nope. Patton Oswald? Nope. Florentine? Nope. Mark Price? Nope. Nobody's gotten it right. It'll be interesting. Let's just say it's just going to be interesting. Rob Saul's dog? No. Ken Mosca? No. These aren't the guests. I love it. Shout out to everyone. I'm putting together a new $30 or more scroll. You can get on the high roller list if you want. I'm putting it together as we speak. But I do want to give a shout out to all the Hall of Famers who have contributed the most to this program, my channel, in the 3 years that I've been doing this. I could not have done it without you. The gold jackets are in the mail.
Squashed.
You got it.
God damn it, Matt, you know better.
Fuck yeah!
Fuck yeah,
boy!
Thanks very much for your consideration. Jeff Closer says, Jamie Kennedy, great guest. I actually was texting with Jamie Kennedy today, name drop. He was just at Off the Hook over the weekend. I was there on Monday, and I was working on getting him on Kevin's show, and then Kevin fired me. And he was asking, he goes, when are we going on Kevin's show? And I go, I don't know. But it's not Jamie Kennedy. Nick Swartzen. It's not Nick Swartzen. I never asked Nick to come on. I might. Josh and Kim Johnson. Yes. Esther Koo. Yes. Esther Koo's going to be my guest today. I don't know. We'll see. They might not show up. Eddie Ift. Yes, Eddie. Opie. No, Opie's never going to do anyone's show ever. Opie's he's too busy getting owned by Chrissy Mayer, man. Chrissy Mayer is just owning Opie. She's just dunking all over him, man. But Chrissy's like, yeah, she's all up in it. She has her videos titled Dunk Opie. She was trying to transition out of the dabble version. Now she's right back in because she wasn't making any money. So now she's going after Opie to appease Anthony, to get on their side. So she's joining the likes of Carl. Melton's piling on Opie. But Chrissy got this. Girls Dunk on Greg Hughes is the title of this. So she thinks she's dunking on Opie with this cunt.
Okay, let's see. Should we listen to a little Opie clip? Let me see. Scarlett, you don't know who this guy is. I'm going to play this video for you.
You don't know either. I have a clip of her talking to Dave Landau, and Dave Landau basically giving her a rundown on what O&A was. She had no clue. She has no clue about Opie and Anthony and what happened on that show. She's clueless. Clueless. We'll play that in a little bit. Nasty Neil. Whatever happened to Nasty Neil? Remember that guy? He was a thing for a second. He was like Carmex. Thoughts on Carmex professing his love for Taz, the resident artist of Pat Dixon. Send him the link. I didn't see it. I got to be honest with you. I have nothing personally against Carmex, but I'm a little Carmexed out. He's like everywhere. He's on Kevin's show. He's on Steel Toe. It's just too much of this guy. And again, it's nothing personal. I think he said he was a fan of mine, which is obvious. But we're not. I'm over it. I'm over it. The Carmex thing. But it's not him either. He's not the guest. People are in the chat. It's Carmex. Chad's. He's doing Carmex. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. All right, let's get back to Chrissy dunking on Opie.
Give him, okay.
Okay, cool.
This guy's name is Opie, Greg Opie Hughes. He used to be a famous radio guy many years ago, like 20 years ago. And now he just does live streams from his apartment because he doesn't really want to try, because then he doesn't want to. He's one of these people who's like, oh, if I try.
She's basically lifting Anthony's take here on Opie.
Try and I get good equipment and I have a legit set and then I fail, then I'll really feel like a failure. So instead he just does this. He just has like a visible ring light. Anyway.
That's cool.
Anyway, I'm just going to play this.
How are they dunking on Opie right now? She doesn't even know who he is. She has no clue. And she had to explain.
Okay, Anthony's a dick.
Uh-oh.
JFK, Anthony's a dick for not having you on at least one Sunday night. Supposedly. No, I know. He basically said he would have me on. I have no.
Oh, another whore to dunk on Opie.
What, are you scared?
Yeah. All right, he looks autistic.
No, I'm not scared.
Ashton, just to explain what's happening here, we're watching a video of Greg Opie Hughes, who used to be a famous radio guy.
So she has to explain it to these dumb broads who Opie is. They have no clue who Opie is, so she has to keep resetting and explaining. So how are they dunking on Opie? I'm just curious. What am I missing here?
Does this from his apartment, and the whole thing is like he's coping about his life because
his used the word coping because Carl,
his other half, Anthony Cumia, made a huge comeback and got a job on radio again.
He did not, Chrissy. He did not make a huge comeback. All these ball washers are all the same. They just drink the Cumia Kool-Aid. Whatever he puts out there, whatever narrative he tries to put, they all back him. And you see Melton's trying to get into the Cumia game now. I mean, it's embarrassing. And they all have the exact same take.
Again, and is like very successful, and Opie just drinks wine and sits in his apartment.
Oh, you're talking about Opie and Andy and Anthony.
Yes,
and Opie?
yes.
Yeah,
exactly.
I just don't want to hang out with you.
That show.
Okay.
A-hole. The guy literally takes shots at me every day.
Who are these dumb bitches?
Yeah, I want to go
love
on that
it,
show.
Opie.
That would be a joy.
You would have absolutely nothing going on in your life if Anthony or any of us didn't talk about you.
Joyous occasion. He's really stretching with the hate towards me. By the way,
what happened to Opie?
There was,
like, what is
That's what we're trying to find out
about him.
Exactly.
Wow,
No one hears
Chrissy, you
about
guys are
him
dunking
except for
on
those
him.
of us in the Opie-verse who watch his videos and comment on them.
The Opie-verse.
It's an Opie-verse.
I get it.
There was something.
She's trying to get Opie-verse going because she stumbled upon Dabbleverse, and it became a thing, obviously. But now she's really pushing Opie-verse, and no one's buying it. No one's clinging to it. You could stop with the Opie-verse, Chrissy. It's not going to catch on. Carl, they're all trying to make Opie into like the stuttering John thing, and it's just not working. It's boring as fuck. It's too much. It's overload.
I cope with my life sometimes too, but then I shut the fuck up.
But it's nothing like this. It's nothing like this, where you're one half of a very famous radio duo, and he just is full of regret.
And again, I'm gonna play a little bit later. Her having my friend Dave Landau on her show. She has no idea anything about Opie and Anthony. She's clueless in the dark about the history of Opie and Anthony, and yet the only success she's ever had, mild success, was being attached to Anthony Cumia's network when she went full right-wing grifter. So whatever little thing she has is all because she clinged on to Anthony Cumia's name. She used it to get on Ann Coulter, become friends with her. She used it to get on Greg Gutfeld. One and done, by the way. One and done. She got on Greg Gutfeld, and then she was off. She bombed. Anybody following that Tyler Fisher shit about Greg Gutfeld? It's fucking crazy. There's a comedian, I've worked with him once. I think he lives in Austin now. His name's Tyler Fisher. He used to be a regular on Greg Gutfeld and, sold tickets because of that show. It's a very popular late night show. Florentine does it. Norton's on there. Voss is on there. And apparently what happened was he went there, and I guess he hit on one of the staff employees. He was on a podcast like months ago saying he has a game where he goes up to 5 women. It's a numbers game, and he has 5 women out on a date, and at least one of them will say yes. And he's like a smaller guy. He's not, he's a weird looking dude. But apparently he was hitting on one of the staff members. She got uncomfortable and went and complained to HR, and they quit having him on. And he's like, what the fuck? Why aren't they having me on? And he's like, I guess bitching. I guess people at shows like, why aren't you on Gutfeld? Why aren't you on Gutfeld? Why aren't you on? And finally he's just like, I don't know what the fuck's going on, man. I don't know what's going on. And I guess he was opening for Greg Gutfeld in these arenas. And he had an arena show still coming up, and he texted Greg Gutfeld. He's like, why aren't you guys having me on? And Greg's like, I don't know what's going on, dude. Don't know what to say. So then he just went full on fucking nuclear fucking war on Twitter, calling out Greg Gutfeld's show, saying it was they went woke and all this other shit. I want to stop. And he basically just burned the bridge to the ground completely. And now he doesn't have the arena shows or anything. It's fucking wild that he just went full on, burn it all to the ground. But at the end of the day, you shouldn't be hitting on people in the it's corporate. It's a corporate workplace. Don't hit on people. Ladies and gentlemen, anybody want to take any guesses on who your guest is going to be today? I'll give you a hint. I've never done a podcast with him. I've never met him. And I thought, you know what? This might be fun. This might be fun. Opie. No, it's not Opie. Ladies and gentlemen, first time ever. First time meeting this fella. It's television's Adam Busch. Wow. Let's get out of this. Let's get out of this.
It's great to see you, Chad. Even I'm disappointed that it's me after that build-up. Pretty much every other name that you mentioned would have been amazing.
Nobody got it right. Not one person.
Because it's not interesting. You set up so many interesting options, and this is just, we didn't need this kind of setup or fanfare. I just wanted to sneak on and, be a part of whatever it is you normally do and observe and participate. We didn't need the the guessing game, but I like that I wasn't one of the choices. I thought that was fun.
I thought it would be fun because no matter who I would have had on, they would have been mad, no matter what.
Yeah, you're probably right.
It doesn't matter. And I really wanted to talk to you because I saw you on Jake Hudson's show, and then I saw you on Quadfather's show, and I go, this Adam Bush used to be somebody. If this was an True Hollywood story, this would be like when I remember I watched Jan Michael Vincent when he hit rock bottom. When I saw you on Quadfather, I was like, what happened to this guy?
Was that the question?
No, I'm just saying, like, what made you go on Quadfather show?
The same thing that made me go on your show. We've been reviewing podcasts, and I figured instead of just listening to them, I could participate, because a lot of people complain they don't have producers, they don't get guests, they don't, have all the things that other ones have. So I wanted to see what would happen if I just came on as a regular guest and presented them with the same thing they have to offer and see how it would go. And it's had some interesting results.
There it is. Now, I've been very complimentary. I don't know if you're aware of this, but I've said you've added a lot to Carl's show. I think Carl's show is very generic and formulaic, but I think you add a different flavor, some insight that I would not have seen. So I've been very complimentary to what you brought to Carl's show, because as you know, I'm not a big fan of the Carl show.
I have a hard time keeping up with who doesn't like who, but I have learned very quickly from this experiment that it is very important you have a side, and you're not allowed to just exist. Simply existing is a choice, so you have to align yourself with someone. And I have no problem with that. I just have a tough time, keeping up with it all.
Yeah, and now I was wondering, because I've watched a couple clips of you, and a couple things have come up that we may or may not have met before in real life, back in 2005 or somewhere around that area.
I'm almost positive we did, because
yeah.
I was doing a weekly gig at a spot in Beverly Hills, and after us was the comedy night, and we would play for an hour and a half, and then I remember the comedians would come in, and I do remember there was like a guy that ran it, and I can almost see you like standing, like we would have the whole drums, guitar, whatever, and you were standing right there after the show, upstairs, right? And you're standing there like taking over the stage while we're breaking down.
Right.
Yeah.
I totally remember that. Yeah. And I would hang out there quite a bit and drink and hang out, because I worked right around the corner. So that was like my place. So
at which spot was that again?
It was called RJ's. It was on, it was a rib joint. And I don't think it's there anymore, but it was very odd. But so we would just go over there, a bunch of comics. I was an open micer at the time. I was just getting to know people. And the way to do it is like you had to run a room so you get to know the comics. And then I got like favors, like Craig Robinson would come down, and I remember specifically one night, I don't know if you were there. Do you remember one of the Copelands died?
Yeah, you've talked about that night, and I can validate all the memories that you have and seeing Craig Robinson there and all those kind of things. But I don't think this is the kind of stuff people want to hear us talking about.
No, who cares what they want to hear? I want to talk to you real quick. And I remember just because I remember Stuart Copeland was there, and I was like a huge Police fan. I was like, oh shit! So I got to do stand up in front of him and bomb. By the way, that was fun. And then so I'm almost certain that we probably ran into one another. How long were you living out in L.A. at that time? Because you were a child actor, right?
Yeah. So I went back and forth for a long time. It's funny that I remember the idea of it, and I can almost see you standing there, or maybe it's just an idea I implanted in my head. But I also know it from you telling these stories on the show. I remember you reacting to it when I mentioned that I had some interactions with you and some interactions with Kevin at the same time, and it was fun to see
because you were in
both of your reactions.
You auditioned for Number One Son, from what I understand.
It was his later pilot for HBO. That was, I don't remember what it was called. Maybe it was untitled Kevin Brennan. But I tested for the role of Neil Brennan, and at that point we were basically reading the script with Kevin and everybody for the network and the studio. And
Kevin denies this. He says this never happened.
He said it never happened because there are no... I talked about a story we had in an elevator. The reason I remembered this story was just because of this thing he had said to me in the elevator. And he said, there are no elevators in Los Angeles, so I'm full of shit and this never happened and fuck me. Which was, and then after a while he went, well, unless it was at HBO. And it was like, yes, it was at HBO. And there are actually other elevators in Los Angeles.
I could vouch for this too.
We don't even need you to. It's just a fact.
I've ridden in elevators in LA. A lot.
No need to brag. It's just funny that his immediate instinct is to just burn down everything, because I was a bit vague about the story because I was trying to be nice. With the part of the story I didn't reveal, he kept saying, why would you tell this stupid story, was that after we read, I was going against one other kid for the role of Neil Brennan, and after we both read, we all got in the elevator together with Kevin, and Kevin looked at both of us and he said, you both did a really good job. You should know that. You should know that you both did a really good job. And that was really strange because I'd done a bunch of screen tests before. And you remember them because you sign the contract and negotiate the deal. But no one, like, you can tell who got the role afterwards. No one's ever going out of their way to say you both were equals. And the reason he said that was because after hearing it out loud, HBO decided they didn't want anything to do with the pilot. They didn't even want to make it. Let's just cancel the whole thing.
Oh, wow.
And Kevin was nice enough to let us know in a very subtle way, you didn't get the part and it's not your fault. It was his fault. And I was trying to spare him that bit of story, but instead, he had to just be on brand about it. So
nobody got the part. Nobody. Not even Kevin.
Not even Kevin.
Wow, that's crazy. That's a good story. This guy likes you. Welcome to Chad Nation, Adam. Happy to have you.
Thank you, Gonzo.
I reached out to Adam because I saw him on all these shows, and like I said, I think he does a good job on Carl's show, and plus, your Stuttering John stuff was. How did you fall into all of this? Like, where are you coming from? How did this become your thing?
Do your research, Zumock.
I'm trying. That's why I'm having this sit-down interview with you.
I was a big Howard Stern fan growing up, and I revisited it during the COVID quarantine, and when the Eric the Midget tapes ran out on YouTube, it suggested WATP with Stuttering John and then with Opie, and I just loved it very, very much. And after getting a bit obsessive about it, I remembered that, because I was watching John's show every day, on just listening to it a little bit, and I was like, I would regret it if I didn't talk to Eric the actor on his American Idol wrap-up show. I should talk to John. So I reached out to him, and it happened, and then from then on, Carl invited me on, and here we are, Chad.
This is unbelievable.
Fucking fascinating, I know.
Make-A-Wish Foundation, bucket list check. It's happening. I can't believe it's happening. The people are going crazy in the chat that you're here. I know I'm going to get it from a lot of people right now, from Kevin saying I'm joining the Shuli Network now. I'm going to be working with Carl. But I look at you as a guy who just doesn't really you just do your thing. You're just out there analyzing, watching. You're not necessarily aligned with anyone. I mean, I'm assuming you're aligned with Carl and those guys, but at the same time, I think you can just objectively look at things for yourself and make your own decision.
I hope so. I try to be, and I was hoping to be, and I was for a while. I didn't realize, and that's my own stupidity, that doing Carl's show on a regular basis would make people assume that I have now chosen this side, and because obviously you have, in a way. But that's why I went on BYB, and that's why I went on Jake, and that's why I'm here, because it really has nothing to do with that. And it's interesting that they're obsessed with, us. Paranoid people really want to believe that there are like movements against them and that nothing is ever their fault. So they create these scenarios where these talking points of what's going to be said on WATP are, argued about, decided in advance, dictated, and then followed. And that just doesn't happen. A lot of people just tend to agree about certain things, and I'm trying to stay as impartial as possible.
See, I'm getting a lot of pressure. I don't know if you're aware, but Kevin, I'm no longer on a show because I won't go after Shuli.
When did that happen?
Probably 2 weeks ago. There was a lot of pressure like that.
And he kicked you off the show? He fired you? Took you off the payroll?
Yeah, I'm off the payroll. I was
because
on
of what? Because of what?
Because he calls Shuli a CUMIA cuck, and I won't showcase him. And I had to try to explain to him that, yeah, he is a CUMIA cuck. He does ball wash Shuli, but he's never done anything to me. Shuli's always been nice to me. All those other guys have been really shitty to me. That's how this all came together. And the one common thread is they're all ball washing CUMIA, Anthony CUMIA. So he's mad that I won't cover Shuli like I do other people. So he took it personal and then kicked me off.
So the way to be a CUMIA'S cuck is nothing to do with Cumia. It has to do with how they feel about you at the time.
That's what it was. This is how this all came together, because it was a big pile on, and they were all trying to make me the next Stuttering John. It was right when John left the first time, and I was in a bit of a dark place, and they all kind of piled on, and they were covering me. And Carl even said in past podcasts, I got a little too personal with Chad. I took it too far, and he was all over me. And then I just fought back. I just went at. I fought Aaron at the time, Steel Toe, was coming after me. He was trying to get in with Carl. He was trying to get in with Cumia. Carl and Steel Toe were friends. And that was the common thread, is they all sucked off Anthony. He led
And is
the
this
charge.
before you were the Mud Shark, or is this the origin story of becoming the Mud Shark?
This is the origin story of how I became the Mud Shark. This is
So you were just a nice podcaster doing your thing. They piled on you unfairly. Yeah. The Mud Shark was born.
That's where it came back. It was me fighting back.
Came back? Okay.
I guess, yeah, I fought back. I stuck up for myself, and I flipped the script. I start covering them like they were covering me. And then the momentum got big, and this became a thing. I fell ass backwards into it. I wasn't looking to do this. I was a comic, and I didn't care about any of this. So
and how long ago was this? How long ago was this?
About 2 years ago. I like how you flipped the interview. This is good.
Well, I became aware of you during that, Cumia Country bit.
Yes.
And then
that was
all of that.
It was a major lie.
Yes. Yes.
And that was, I think that was at my peak Mud Shark. That was at the top of things were going well. And then it all became a thing. And here I am fighting back still. A man alone on a hill with a sword. As I like
are they fighting against you still?
Not really. Carl's actually backed off. Chrissy won't even mention my name. Aaron wants to be friends with me. He's trying to be allies with me because I'm not friends with Patrick Melton or Nick Rekieta. So he's desperately trying to build this bridge between us, and I refuse to let it happen. I don't want to partner up with him because I haven't forgotten. I still hold a grudge.
I think it's an apocalypse now that they find that guy like years after the war is over, but he's still in the hole.
Yeah.
And they can't convince him, like, it's done. They can't get him to stop. That guy's not the hero of the movie.
Right. That's a good analogy. So what are you saying? I should back off? I should calm down?
I mean, it seems to me when I watch your show, and this is going to reveal probably more about me than you, but you'll be talking about John, and I'm like, yeah. And then you talk about Aaron, I'm like, this guy gets it. You talk about everyone, I'm like, I can't argue with that. But then when it comes to you, everything changes and everything's different. And all of a sudden I get this different guy and I'm like, wow, what happened? He is way too sensitive to call himself the Mud Shark. Like he needs to get out of the mud.
Well, there's a level of performance to this. There's a little pro wrestling to it, a little, over the topness. They like it. It's drama. It's silliness. So when I'm acting mad, I'm really not mad. I'm just having fun, having a good time. I'm a good performer. I might not be SAG like Adam Bush, but I can do a little something on the side. I could do a little acting, if you will. So
I don't think being in the union has anything to do with talent level at all.
Ozone says, rewrite Adam. You seem to have handled your, what is this?
Catastrophic fall from grace better than Stuttering John did. What advice would you give him? If I define myself as a celebrity, then I don't know how I would advise John to deal with that. But I've been a working actor since I was a kid, and I'm really grateful that I can still do it and do a lot of the things that I love and even have time to do stuff like this. It's some gigs are amazing, some gigs are not. Some of the really high-paying, high-profile gigs are shit, and some of the small ones are great, and vice versa. And as long as I'm in control of that, I'm doing okay. And I think John, as long as he defines himself with that celebrity thing, there's nothing anyone can do to help him. But if he defined himself as more of a Perry Caravello or something of that nature, I think he could have a life that he would enjoy.
You're aware of my thing with John, right? I had
what's that?
A big fallout with John. Stuttering John, and I went to his house.
See, you say these things are a show and it's all fun, and then they're real, and then the feelings are real, and the accusations of crimes and things are real.
Yeah, when he calls Cape Coral Police Department on, that's real. When I get my gig canceled, that's real. When my Patreon goes away, when $25,000 a year goes away, that's real.
So you and KB, it's kind of WrestleMania, but you and John, it's real.
No, Kevin and I have the best analogy I can use, and it's been often brought up, is we have a very Jesse Pinkman, Walter White friendship. Breaking Bad. It's like, but
without the money.
Without the money or the meth. But it's we're either getting along amazing or we want to kill each other. It's one or the two. It's one of, so it's very Pinkman, Walter White. It's not, I think he's legitimately mad. I was mad. So I'm not like looking to burn the bridge down completely with Kevin. I mean, I went a year without talking to him at once. I was sniping his show like for 6 months. He struck my channel. It got personal. It got real personal.
We all laugh at John and Kate, and rightly so, but what would KB have to do to make you not return? What would be the thing that you can say right now? If this went down, that bridge is burned.
I thought last time the bridge was completely burned. I thought it was done. Everyone thought it would never happen again, and it did. And we were doing great. We were getting along really well. We kind of figured out our formula. It was perfect. We never talked off camera. We wouldn't talk on the phone. We wouldn't communicate. So every time you saw me and Kevin interacting, that's the only time we talked. And it was working great. And then this whole thing with Shuli became a thing because I wouldn't cover him. And he was like really upset and livid that I wouldn't go after Shuli. And I just said, I need a reason. I can't just hate. So it wasn't good enough for him.
It's interesting because CUMIA'S CUCKS means the issue is with Cumia and how people feel about him. But
yeah,
he would have to do something to you personally to.
And here's the
thing. What did Shuli do to KB? Did he do something personally?
Well, I mean, they do a show called the Anti-Karen Show where they.
Well, I mean, it started before that.
Yeah, I don't know Oh, this is what had happened. So Shuli and I did a show down here in Tampa, and he went on the Mike Calta morning show, which is formerly Cowhead. And I guess Shuli was there, and then Mike Calta gave out Kevin Brennan's phone number on the air. And because of Shuli being there, he was guilt by association with Calta. So I guess Shuli got the blame, and it just kind of snowballed and became a thing. And I don't know. And during this, I was still cool with them. I was like, I don't know what to do. This is like a tug of war of some sorts. Like I was like cool with Joe, the producer over there, because he's helped me with a lot of production, and and I was friends with Bob. So I don't know. I don't even think Kevin knows anymore. And then the whole ESO thing happened. I think I don't know. I really don't. People get upset that I won't go after Shuli, and I go, until there's a reason, I'm not going to. Would I agree he's a Cumia ball washer? Yes, 100%. Bob is too, but I don't have anything personal against them.
And your issue with Cumia is outside of who he is. The personal thing is that where did that go wrong? Because you used to do his show, correct? Or
yes, I used to be a regular on his show, and I would go on a lot. And we were like, I thought we were very friendly. Like he's like, oh, anytime you want to come on, you're great. And then it kind of flipped because Chrissy Mayer. I said, I went on Kevin's show one day and I said, well, he said she wasn't funny. I go, I don't even know who she is. So I start watching a little Chrissy Mayer and I go, oh, wait, she isn't funny. So I said it. Her and her now husband, Frank, took it as a personal thing and they start going after me. And they had all these low level podcasts like Ski Mask and all these people come after me. And then they got Carl on board and then they got Kumi on board. And that's how it all came together. So Chrissy Mayer is the architect of all of this because I said she wasn't funny.
That's WrestleMania, right?
No, this is real.
That's WrestleMania stuff? Oh, that's real.
This is real.
Okay.
Yeah. So I really stand by that she's not funny. I stand by it to this day. And they always took it too personal. And then from there, I would fuck around. They did a show in Orlando Improv, and they did the Content House. And I said I was going to come up for the show. They had me banned from the venue, even though I worked that venue.
How do they have you banned from the venue?
They contacted the booker, Dave Stroop, the GM, Krista, saying we don't feel safe with him coming here. They actually thought I was going to do something crazy. So they said, we don't want him here. We want them banned, and they banned me, and I took it.
Was this before or after the catalytic converter thing?
This was after.
Okay, so maybe they had a point.
It's all nonsense. It really is. But yeah, so
you just said it was real. You just said this was the real part.
It's real. I was banned 100%. And I took that very personal because they didn't work me afterwards. So I think they're like, what the hell's going on with Chad? Where people are afraid of him. So like, I don't think we can book him. But luckily I was just there with my buddy Nick Swartzen. So everything's smoothed over, but it took a year and a half. So I feel like I'm getting you up to speed with things.
I appreciate it.
So yeah, I don't know, man. It's all very weird, but I don't know. Gonzo says, how long until Chad turns on Adam for Adam giving him honest, fair opinion and analysis of this interview on WATP? Over and under 3 days? Hashtag Chad Nation. Are you going to Hackamania?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you are?
I am.
Okay, so this guy's looking forward to seeing you at Hackamania.
Oh, John O'Reilly. See you there. Say hi.
Are they paying you? They should. I've been very public saying Carl better be paying you on that show. I don't know what your situation is, but you better be getting money from these guys because I think you bring something to the table. You obviously have somewhat of a name, like you have a little star power, a little something. So I don't know what your situation is, but you better be getting paid.
I'm a firm believer, and I know it goes against the grain, that everyone who works on a podcast should be paid, and that every guest should be paid, and that, sure, there's a trade-off when you have a podcast you're promoting multiple, I get
and
that.
I'm going to pay you, by the way, for your appearance.
No. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. You don't have to. That's not what I meant. I meant, do you know what I mean? Like, everyone that works, if even guesting to a game show, any of this kind of stuff, everyone should be paid. I believe that for everything. You see it in indie films and in comedy all the time, I'm sure, where the comedian or the actor is on the film and you're like, I know everyone's only making a little money, but why am I the only one not getting paid? Like, why is the talent? I think everyone should be equal. And the camera guy and the actor and everyone should make $50 and call it a day, and that's it. But I never had a problem with KB paying people. I never found it manipulative until he started using it to manipulate people. But everyone should. So I'm with you on that.
Yeah, and you were in bands too, right?
Same thing, you know.
Yeah. It's what we do. This is how we make a living, and yeah, I'm with you on that. So that's good. I'm glad to hear that you are getting paid. Did you get paid for Chicago?
And sometimes,
PD?
especially in LA, like you'll find that the talent just doesn't. They just skip it. It's kind of a given. You should be happy to be here, and they should be happy to be here. But everyone should be paid. What were you saying?
They paid you on Chicago PD, right?
I mean, I'm not here to talk about money, but you can look it all up. It's all public knowledge.
I was just looking at your IMDb.
That's classy.
Gave a little look just to see what I'm working with here,
Yeah, now's the time, definitely.
Yeah. Truly used to snipe you. What the fuck are you talking about? Yes, we talked. Truly called me. We had an hour conversation where we just talked like men. And it was a great conversation. We both came out of it feeling pretty good. So that was a thing at one point. Is this a thing, Adam? Am I ambushing you with this?
Adam, come clean and tell everyone that you're a part of. Yeah, it's one of those cults. I am not, but I'm fascinated by all of them. I will, if you have a cult, I will go to your meeting.
You're saying you're in a cult?
I will show up. It's like a Scientology thing that's popular in L.A. I don't have anything to do with it. I can't remember how to pronounce it either. There's a great doc on it, and I'm fascinated by that stuff. But if that's your thing, good for you. I'm glad you found something.
Yeah, I used to live by the Scientology place when I lived out there, the L. Ron Hubbard Palace or whatever it was.
Yeah, the Celebrity Center.
Yeah. Chad is angling for the Lucy Tightbox seat on WATP. No, I'm not. That's not happening.
So what do you say to these people that say, I mean, I'm having trouble keeping up with your feuds as I'm talking to you, and what's real and what's not. And as you enter this new era of the honest and true Zumock, who's the #1 recommended source for Dabbleverse news and breaking information, how are we supposed to believe you? How is anybody that's like, how would you answer the question of how I'm on here if I could easily be on the CUCKS cover right now?
Right.
You'd have a great argument. How can we be having this conversation?
And I appreciate you recognizing that I am the #1 source for breaking news. To answer your question, okay, repeat your question.
How can you have me on and act like this isn't a betrayal of all those people who follow and believe what you say?
Well, again, I've been watching you from afar on Carl, because I have to go through Carl clips to see if I could find something. And I go, oh, and I some of your analysis. I go, oh, that's a good point. That's a good angle. And I'd find myself agreeing with you. I'm like, oh, that's good. Yeah. So I was like, okay, I like Adam. He's a good guy. And then I saw you on Jake, and then I saw you on Quad, and I go, okay, I think he's not really aligned. Even though he's on Carl's show every week, I think he's doing his own thing, and he's never done anything. I've never seen you say anything bad about me yet. So as of right now, this is a nice, I don't know, it's kind of like,
I saw you the other day. It was just the other day. You early on in the show, somebody said something nice about you, and you cheered and did the your horn. Yeah. Please don't do it. Please don't. No.
You ate the horn?
Well, the problem is if you get excited when people say nice things about you, then you have to believe the bad things people say, and now you've got a war on your hands.
Okay. See, listen, I'm learning too. Maybe this happened for a reason. Maybe this stuff I need to hear from somebody else who, because like I said, we've never met, and this is just you, observing.
I hear about, when you talk about you and KB, it sounds like an ex. It sounds like we were in a good place. We were just, and then I don't know what happened, and then everything from the past, and I wouldn't support him. Like, it sounds like lovers. It sounds like, and there's still hope, right? You still got that hope in your heart that it's not over, and can't even think of anything they could do to make you go back. And your friends are like, yeah.
Well, his thing about the Shuli thing is, it's like he thinks I'm joining their network. I'm not. I'm not even going on their shows, so I don't understand where this beef or rip is. I will say this little fallout with Kevin is not as bad as it used to be. This is actually very manageable.
You sound like an abused wife. This is what they say, and you are defending getting beaten by saying, well, it's a little less this year, hoping for a good Christmas.
But he didn't mean it. No. I don't know.
Fell down the stairs. I get it.
I mean, I would be lying.
Why are you wearing those shades, Chad? Let's see it. Let's see it, buddy.
Farrah Fawcett bruises.
It's not your fault, Chad. It's not your fault.
No, the thing is, I'd be lying if I didn't say Kevin Brennan wasn't funny. He's funny. He's a funny motherfucker. And I'd also it wouldn't be very genuine if I said, the reason why I have a little bit of an audience and I have almost 700 people watching between YouTube is from the MLC audience. I was on that show for a long time, so a lot of people come over here from there. So I recognize that, and I'm not delusional when it comes to that too. So I built whatever little following I have from Kevin's audience. So I got to recognize that, and
look, I'm not gonna. There was the only reason I initially brought up that screen test story to Carl is because when you screen test, you have to negotiate your entire contract as if this thing's going to run for 10 seasons and argue about merchandise for for years later. You have to argue and agree to all of these things. And right before you audition, you sign it. So that's why you remember these auditions, because there was a time in my life where my entire future was in the hands of Kevin Brennan. And I believed in him. It was his show. I was going to play his brother. And for those couple months that we were auditioning and doing this, that I believed in him. But I can be blinded by talent, but it does not blind me so far as to what we're seeing now. Because I'd forgotten all this. I mean, it was just, I'd forgotten and then was just slowly reminded as I watched Kevin. And the entire time I watched it, I was like, is this guy ever going to say anything funny? Is he going to do anything funny? Even the character of being a grumpy old man, he's not doing that well. And I don't mind it. He can do whatever he wants. Give him money if you enjoy it. I get it. He's on brand. But for you to be pining after this, it's already burned out. You know, the ashes are all there. You're holding on to dust.
You're saying it's over.
Move on.
That would have been a crazy turn of events if you actually played Neil's brother. That would have been really. I probably wouldn't be here with you right now, but that's very odd. If that thing went through, that would have been interesting.
There's a reason they made Number One Son. And then
they did.
He won the Aspen Comedy Festival, whatever that year that was, like 2011, and that was on HBO. So they gave him this deal, and what he offered them, they gave him a pilot deal, and then decided, yeah, after hearing it out loud, we don't want to make it. We don't want to make it. And then he had another one a couple of years later, and that didn't get made either.
So would you be open to go on Kevin's show at one point?
Of course I would. I'll go on anyone's show. I would consider. I'm open to going on anyone's. I don't want to go on unless I've watched some and I can have some time to be present and do it for real.
A lot of these people, as Chris Abels used to work for the Shuli Network, he says, Chad, this snake is going to devote 45 minutes on you with Lady K on WATP. He's less trustworthy than Shuli. Be wary. Now, is this true?
Well, it's a good point, Chris Abels. I don't know. If something interesting happens, maybe. If not, no. What would be the issue if I did?
What would be the issue?
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what comes out of it, to be honest.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what would be so a podcast wants to cover, like, if you covered this interview or if you went on somebody else's show to talk about it, what would my issue with that be?
I'm going to be watching you like a hawk after this. I'm watching everything you do because I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know. I mean, you seem like a nice enough guy. You seem pretty fair and, you know. But then again, I've been duped before. This might be a big...
How could I dupe you, though? Like, how could you dupe me? Like, of course I was... There's a part of me that's like, you're going to try and set me up in some way. And it's always possible. But I'm like, at the end of the day, what can you do if I continue to just be consistent about the things I believe in, open to changing my mind, and really hearing you and responding to those things? What could I say here that you could then use, that I've said so far, that be used against me?
As of right now, nothing.
And I hope
as of right now, nothing. Yeah. So everything's good right now. And, you know, but
that's probably pretty boring for the audience, I guess.
No, they're all here. There's 751 people between. So they're in. They're engaged. They want to know what's going to happen. I don't know. Maybe you take this to Hackamania this weekend and you guys, you know, do a whole thing.
What would I do? What would my take on this be? How would I get you?
I don't know. You could be a mastermind. Maybe you got plans. I don't know. Maybe you and Carl are up to something. Maybe. See, now I'm paranoid.
Yeah, that's what I started this conversation with, that you refuse to believe that it could be based on something that happened in this conversation. If this goes badly, it's because you're a victim and a pawn in a massive conspiracy that's set up to keep you down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds more, yeah, I like where you're going with this. This is what...
That feels more comforting. You like that?
Yeah, that's where I want to be like, yeah, that's where I want this to go. No, I don't know. Listen, I thought it was cool of you that you agreed. I appreciate that. That was nice of you. And I think the only way to get through things is to have conversations, tough conversations. And, you know, and maybe you can lead somewhere. Who knows? Maybe I'll join the Shuli Network now.
You know, you don't have to like Shuli. I don't, you know, I get why I'm asked to answer for him all the time. I get it. But he's, you know, there's plenty of great ways to not like Shuli that don't involve like the most awful things in this world, and like, you know, accusing people and getting them involved in, you know, just monstrous things. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. And some of these aren't very nice, like Nick in Fort Wayne, who's a big contributor. Does Adam think using pedophilia for an unfunny, terrible work is okay? Now, this is crazy. I'll let you answer this.
Yeah, I know. It's a loaded question, right?
Yeah.
And I've answered it before, and I think it's a good question. I think humor is a way to cope. I think I like good jokes about the Holocaust and about this stuff. I don't appreciate bad, lazy ones, but who the fuck is the judge of that, right? It's not me. It's not anyone I know. So we have to encourage people to do that. I did not like and was very vocal about when people were hitting Shuli with the Shuli New thing. I was like, I don't like that. And then when he started in with the John New, I was like, that's not, it's just as bad. And how can I defend that if you're going to do that? I would appreciate if we wouldn't talk about it at all, unless we have to. I think that would be best. Everything else outside of that, no, I'm not a fan of. But the difference between, I think, Quad wants the right to tell his jokes about the Holocaust and about whatever he feels. And I feel that they're very lazy and boring, and that him insisting on doing it and being so vocal about it and constant about it is what keeps people like Howard Stern and Richard Pryor and George Carlin crucified by the FCC. I think they're the reason these people have a hard time, because there is nuance. He talked about how, what about Tukey doing pictures of kids? I do think that's different. That's my own moral barometer. If you think Tukey doing pictures of kids is not funny and not okay, I'm not going to argue with you that you're wrong. I get it. If you have serious experience in these issues, I would get it even more. However, Quad and KB's level of humor is this person knew about and concealed a violent sexual predator because he secretly shares these beliefs and wants financial gain. And I don't think that's funny. And I do think there's a difference between that and looking at pictures of kids from the vault. And that's my opinion, and I can have that, and everyone else can have theirs. But when I offered to Quad that accusing and blaming without proof people of these things might not be the way to go about making fun of Shuli, and he got it in return, he could not handle it. He can't handle it.
My whole thing with that issue is people want that to be a real thing, that Shuli knew about this pedophile producer. And I honestly don't think he did. I really don't. Because
I don't think anybody knows. And Quad wanted to make the argument that he says they knew and I say he didn't. No one knows. I can't claim to know.
Yeah.
And then Quad put on his episode, he slipped in there after telling all of us that we were faggots and losers and retards and we should go home and stop talking about this, and doing his
good jokes,
great impressions and real good stuff. He put on his episode description that he's no longer comfortable making assumptions about what Shuli knew until there is proof, and he would prefer if everyone else would do that. And then he went on to the air.
If there's
that's
proof
what he does in
to
private.
it, of course. Yeah. But here's the thing about that ESO thing. He wanted to produce my show. Him and Joe, we had a conference call. I talked to that guy on the phone, and he was like, yeah, and they had this whole game plan on what they wanted to do and how they wanted to build it. And I was like, I was interested. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to just do it myself. So say if I let him produce my show, like, how would I be attached to that? Would people say, I didn't know anything?
That's what I'm saying. And by the way, this is Shuli's fault. Shuli did that to you, and he's responsible for bringing this person into our world. And the fact that we're talking about it right now, it's their fault. So they get to take the blame of this and to take responsibility for it. However, this bit about Shuli knew, this is what Quad does. Shuli knew doesn't mean he knew about the thing and harbored it. It just means he knew before he did that video. Okay, what if that's true? What if he heard from the wife and didn't believe it? What if he heard and did and confronted Iso, and Iso said, she's divorcing me, you can't believe her? What if he didn't know? What if he was confused and didn't know legally? What if his wife or the cop said, don't tell anyone? What if he didn't know what to do until he could? I don't know. And I'm not defending him. All I'm saying is I don't know, so I don't fucking weigh in on it until I'm forced to by these people.
Racky.
Who say they know. They know definitively. You can applaud. I like that.
Okay. There you go.
Shut it off.
You're on your soapbox. I loved it. You know this Tom Myers fella?
Oh, big fan.
Yeah, over and under when Adam sees podcast Karen as a phony and ditches him and goes off on his own. I give it 6 months to a year, tops. Just say no to WATP.
That is fair. That is fair.
Adam, why don't you do your own podcast? I'm curious.
Why don't I do my own podcast?
Yeah, like the Adam Bush experiment or something.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm having fun doing what I'm doing right now. And I really like this Dabbleverse, and I really like all the characters in it. And I feel like, I don't know, I'm enjoying what I'm doing right now, and I'm lucky that I have the freedom to be able to do that. But I appreciate it.
Adam, please talk about being in Stern's band. You were in Howard Stern's band?
Yes, I played in the Losers for a
course.
song. It's not there's no way you would know in it. It's not really that interesting, but when Howard had that in-house band, he played keyboard, Fred, and everyone would cover songs, and they decided to do Livin' La Vida Loca and needed a horn section, and I knew someone that was Stuttering John's band, and I guess they asked John because the call came to a sax player I know, and they said, hey, do you want to come and play the horns on Livin' La Vida Loca? And I was a diehard fan. I had auditioned to play young Howard twice already, so this was like a dream come true, and it was really amazing. The one good takeaway is that when they let us into the studio, I couldn't tell whether we were recording or not. Like, I didn't know, because everything just seemed just how it was on the show. And Howard was standing with his head down, playing the keyboard, and the trumpet player didn't care about anything. Just said, Howard, give us a C, because he wanted to tune his horn. And Howard hopped to it. He was like, oh, no. Like, he loved just being treated like a member of the band and enjoyed that moment a lot. That was my big takeaway.
I have a couple of memories. I used to listen to Stern growing up, obviously. I remember one distinctively. Do you remember when they would rehearse on air? They would rehearse with the Losers on air, and they were always fighting with each other.
Yeah, it was one of those things.
Yeah. I still remember that, and just laughing, and just like in my car going to school, and it was just so funny. I have good memories of that. That was always like a dream of mine in comedy. Two things in comedy I always wanted to do. I wanted a half-hour Comedy Central Presents, and I wanted to get on Conan, and I wanted to get on the Howard Stern show, and none of it happened. None of it happened. I was almost on Conan. Mark Norman almost got me on there. I met JP, the booker, whatever the fuck is, and he said, yeah, we'll get you in next year. And then Conan went off the air. I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess that's never going to happen. Then I was like, I want a Comedy Central half hour. And then Comedy Central, they all went away. I was like, okay, I guess that's never going to happen. And then obviously the Stern show never happened. So all my comedy dreams are dead. Hence
I used to do Conan a lot.
Oh,
Late
the
Night with
TV
Conan.
show.
We'd do, I would do comedy sketches that they would have. Bong Boy was one. Other ones, they would just have like random on the late night Conan show.
Great work, Adam Trapping Chad and his bullshit, cock. No. He's asking fair questions. Adam is a younger, handsomer Shmuel Buckman. I don't know about that. You know who this guy is? This Shmuel Buckman?
He watching him demolish Quad with facts, and watching Quad not even understand how he's being owned. Like, he doesn't understand. It's really funny. I watched some of my interview with him to see if I was mean or to see what was happening, and anytime I really laid out some facts and he had no response, he didn't notice. He thought he had owned the moment. But anytime when I'm watching, I'm like, oh, that was embarrassing. I just like resorted to name calling. Like, I called him a baby because I was being stupid. And I anytime I did or made an impression of him, that's what got to him. And he freaks out and he gets real violent in his responses. The stuff I'm embarrassed of and wished I didn't do are the things that keep him up at night. And the actual points I made, he didn't even notice.
Wow. A lot of people have questions here. I'm not trying to ambush you either. Adam, did you ever have to do any casting couch things with Harvey Weinstein-like producers when you were still an actor? I think you're still an actor.
I am. I have a new show coming out called PBC Season 3. And it has people from The Office, people from Saturday Night Live. It's about accountants. You can watch the first 2 seasons, but
Where's it
this
at?
one features... You can see it right here on YouTube and on Flowcast with Danny Trejo. But season 3 is coming out very soon, and I'm happy to be promoting that. But that's why I'm here. And to answer your question, I mean, I have seen it. I've heard about it. Luckily, I'm a pretty awkward person looking, and so I don't attract that. But yes, I've been in situations where a casting director invited me over for dinner when I was like too young for that. And I got there and I was immediately uncomfortable because it felt romantic. And I was like, this isn't right. And I might have misread it. To this day, I still might have misread it. But I excused myself very quickly. And I'm grateful that I had the wherewithal to do it. But there have been other times with even famous people where you feel trapped. And you don't have that kind of ability to move or to get out as quick. So I don't think just because I was able to walk out means everyone should be able to. I'm grateful that I did. And I'm sure it says something about how I was raised. I remember my father telling me when I was very young to look out for this stuff. And I did not believe him at all. And of course he was right. I couldn't imagine that he was right. I didn't think when I went to work every day at Nickelodeon that giant foot above the studio had a sexual connotation. How would I know that?
Right.
It didn't even occur to me. I thought it was random. I thought it was elbow, earlobe. They're just being wacky. I didn't know that was a thing. Now I know.
Yeah, that's crazy. Now, were you friendly with the two Coreys, Feldman and Haim? Did you know them? Were they in your circles?
No, I wouldn't say no, but I have run into them over the years. I ran into Corey Feldman in the airport when I was traveling with an instrument, and he came up to me because he just wanted to know what the instrument was.
Hey, dude, what's up, man?
Yeah, that's a harpsichord. Wow, and just I knew exactly who
the
he
Angels.
Was. yeah. But I'm a fan of his.
So you probably were on the same. You probably came up with all the Alyssa Milano and Nicole Eggert, Celine Moonfry.
They're a little older than me. I had Alyssa Milano. I had her cut out from a teeny bopper magazine on my marble notebook. I was a little younger than that, but
okay. I was just curious to the area. So you were at Nickelodeon. Were you there when You Can't Do That on Television was on?
No, again, that was a little before my time, but I used to watch that on television.
Yeah. The slime, that was fun. Mm-hmm. Nick in Fort Wayne, Shuli and producer Joe claimed that Stuttering John and Vince the Lawyer knew about ESO.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't think anybody should do that, and I think it's not cool.
Yeah, I
agree with you, Nick. Not cool. I don't find it funny. There's no joke there. I think you take responsibility, you own it, you answer all the questions, and then you move on. And trying to drag more misery out of it seems disingenuous when we have nothing to do with this. Quad got accused of this whole thing, sending a picture, whether it was a big deal or not. He made it clear he doesn't give a fuck how the parent feels about it, and that parent can go fuck himself. He's going to decide what pictures of somebody else's kids are okay and not okay, and he's going to decide where they go. And I think just as a general rule, we should say that's not acceptable, and the parent should get a say first, whether you're in acting or not, whether you're a podcaster or a streamer or just on Facebook. If the parents are okay, let them decide. Why is he, Quadfather, weighing in and making Shmuel Buckman weigh in on this fucking topic? How bad does it have to get? He was on this stream arguing about the amount of clothing this boy was wearing. Around the time you've turned on your stream to say that, it's time to shut it down. Right. It's time to shut it. I'm embarrassed and ready to go just from having recounted that, from what it makes me look like.
It's also time
because I'm asked about it. That's why I'm weighing in, because I'm asked about it everywhere I go, and I'm not gonna, even when it's a friend, I'm gonna tell you exactly how I feel about it.
It's also time for the percolator.
It's time for the percolator. It's time for the percolator.
Maud Levy. Hi, Adam. I told you he'd do the show, Chad. Yes.
That's a very funny picture.
Yeah. Is that, yeah, that's, yeah. Bob Levy.
Bob is B. Arthur is Maud.
Yeah, there you go. Norman Fell. Adam with the glasses. Who is this? Eddie Deason.
That is Norman Fell. I don't know who Eddie Deason is, though. I'm sure you're right. I get told I look like a lot of people, and it's always pretty accurate.
Permaseal Finishing. In these horrible cases, we know the police investigate the best friend, co-business owner, the wife. How many people went to jail? I rest my case. Had to know. Isn't evidence. Yeah. The sad part about that, it's going to follow him around forever. It's the sad part about the whole thing. Regardless.
Follow who around?
The whole ESO thing. It's just gonna. You can't
follow
just
who
wash
around.
that up. Just they're always going to bring it up, no matter what. Regardless.
To who?
To Shuli, to everyone, to me, to you. It's always going to be a thing. Unfortunately,
it doesn't have to be.
It doesn't have to be, but in this universe, it's gonna be. It's just what they do. Chad knew. I knew.
Yeah.
I knew
Bo
the
has a
whole time.
point, though. I will say Bo has a point.
Yeah, I did know. Adam talks loud and says no thing. I don't know what that means.
Well, we know what it means, and it's a good James Brown song.
Okay. I went down a James Brown rabbit hole the other day.
Listen to the JBs.
The JBs
band,
are amazing. Instrumental. Yeah. The meters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Funky
that's
meters.
my jam. Adam being in Hollywood with the pedo going on how to do. Wait, read this real quick.
Adam, being in Hollywood with the PDF going on, how do you feel about going to an event ran by a guy who has said awful things about children?
He's talking about Patrick Melton.
Yeah, I vaguely know what he's talking about. I don't know the specifics, but I've heard this about him, and I have. If you saw my IMDb,
I did. I just looked at it.
It's just a list of monsters that I've worked with my whole life, and I'm not saying that he is. I'm saying that
you were in The Beast.
Yeah, it doesn't. No, I the same way I feel about going on Quad show or Shuli's show. I'm not.
Or my show.
I don't know this or your show. I'm not happy about the specifics. I'm sure if I did the research and looked it up, I would feel the same way you feel and say, yeah, that's not cool. Would I not go to an event because of jokes that you don't find funny or that I don't find funny? I mean, no, I did CUMIA'S show. I do this show. I talk about the things we agree on. We argue about the things we disagree on. Maybe, hopefully, someone can change my mind about some of these things, and I leave feeling like I've learned something. That's it.
Chad, nice prep. Did you think of reading Wikipedia?
It would have helped. It would have helped.
Dan. Thank you, Dan.
Anything. You made the poll. You could have read the IMDb ad.
I could have. Reverend Billy, I'm glad Kev took over CUMIA'S CUCKS, Chad. You're not doing job. Adam, Shuli, Carl, Chad's birds of the feather flock together. Chad, you let us down. No, I didn't. This guy's
well, I mean, if they expected you to be giving me the business and embarrassing me or simply getting me on where I'm wrong, you're welcome to do that at any point. I don't want to alienate you from your audience.
I've been watching you from afar. Chad's in love. No, I pay attention. You have to. My head's on a swivel over here. The poll is up, dipshit. That's rude. I don't know what to say about that. Here's one that I wanted to pull up. So I'm popping around here. Why does Adam keep talking about Quad when I ask him about Shuli?
What didn't I answer about Shuli? I like talking about Quad, I do, but what? And I'm looking for an excuse for it. But what didn't I answer?
Yeah,
so if Shuli knew because of timing before he did that video, because the wife tried to tell him or someone told him, and he took a day or two to process, to figure it out, to know what happened, I don't know. I'm not involved in that situation. What happens then? Tell me, Nick, what does that mean? He still would do the same thing. Take ownership. Take responsibility. Donate to a charity. Fire the guy. Never talk to him again. Take all the heat. Answer all the questions. And move on. So what does this Shuli? You keep saying I don't get it. I get it. I get that you're arguing about the detailed minutia to avoid the bigger point, to avoid saying what you were saying, which is, yeah, Shuli knew is about a timing issue. It's not about him harboring, right? That's what Shuli knew meant. Either way, in any way you do it, what is the point?
The timing
if you're not saying he's quad and you go out of your way to say this guy's not a PDF, we're not accusing Shuli of that. We're just saying he knew and didn't tell us. Okay. He told you before you heard about it.
What's unfortunate about this whole thing is they had the big DabbleCon event in Rochester. They were in Rochester. ESO lived in Rochester. So this was in the news. It was floating. And after the event, that's when it all came out. Like, whether it was timing or coincidence, it all came out right when the event was over, like literally the next day. So that's where everyone's like, Shuli knew. I see what they're saying. It's bad timing, 100%. But I mean, that's where people are always, I get why people are on the fence with that.
I'm confused as to what, I mean, if you're getting just the general vibe from Shuli that he's not honest, I'm not going to argue with you about that. If you get the general vibe that he's just not a straight shooter or I don't believe him, that's fine too. I would probably agree with you. I question a lot of things going on over there, but I don't imply people are harboring monsters. And there's no other way to look at that. And you know that. And it wasn't until people were called on it that suddenly everyone was supposed to know that the Shuli Knew hashtag was a reference to timing before a video. I told Shuli to his face that if ESO went on to work on Saturday Night Live and produced there, he'd be going, that's my boy. We did that. That's me up there. So when he does horrible things, it's the same thing, right? Shuli has to take the same kind of ownership. That's his. He is responsible for me sitting here and talking about this shit.
Yeah.
Not because I like Shuli, but because there's a certain level of what's the word? We're just supposed to pretend that people like to play dumb and like, I don't know, I'm just saying these things to say them. They're jokes. It was a joke. I don't think they're jokes for you, buddy. Adam, what was your favorite ETM saga? Lost in Plain Sight, Kendra, Red Carpet. That's from John T.
What's this? Explain this to me.
It's Eric the Midget.
Oh. Okay.
I like all of it. I really do. I like it when he first called it. I like all of it. And my heart broke when he died. And it's his fault that I'm here, so you can blame him.
Yeah, Eric the Midget. Nick in Fort Wayne knew. Yes, he did. He knew.
And what's funny is when Nick starts freaking out and replying and trying to prove that he didn't know and how we have no right and we're calling him a PDF and how dare we, that's when it looks horrible. That's when you're like, come on.
A lot of people are asking you questions. This is crazy.
Adam, is it not good, bad, or horrible move that TSN uses? It's unacceptable. It's mean spirited if there's an ability to change that and there's nothing done about it. Absolutely.
Are they still using it?
I have no idea, which is why I don't. Everybody's trying to argue that we say Shuli didn't know. I don't know what he knew. I can't say that. That's why I don't try and not talk about it. And I'm doing a bad job of that.
Because here, let me pull this up. I don't know if I'm going to be boxing myself here. No. Because I have the email here. The last time they emailed me. This is right here. This was from 2023. ESODO. This is what they would send out the link to. I don't know if they're still using it, but it's probably not a good idea.
No, it's worse than not a good idea. It's offensive. It's like it comes from a insensitive, like it's worse. I don't. Yeah, it's horrible, and they should change that. I don't know why they would do that. Do you think they're doing it because they want to support him?
I don't think so. I hope that's not the case. I can't speak on their behalf. Adam, check the
Either
Melton
way,
song.
There is no argument for the other side. There's no, we had to keep it because of, or we want to keep it because of. That's it. It's wrong, and they should change it. I agree. Sorry, you were saying.
Oh, this guy, yeah, Patrick Melton has a song about having sex with a 6-year-old child that he's trying to bury, and it's out there, and it's on Kiwi Farms, and they're trying to get him with this. I mean, I hope they do, but this is what this is all about.
That's his. It's the song.
The song about having sex with a 6-year-old kid. It's really cringe. It's really bad. I don't know how he thought that was funny, but I guarantee he wishes it wasn't out there. So,
yeah, it doesn't sound funny.
They want you to know, though. They want you to know.
I'm glad they told me. Tell me,
Mr. Rapey, Mr. Ray. Carl playing this back for content next week. Way to go, Adam. That long pause where you couldn't answer the question about Melton was genius. Nervous laugh. I don't know if that was purpose.
I do like to think before I speak. I do like to
yes,
come get my thoughts together before I've noticed a lot of the minds that I admire do that. So I try and copy that because I'm never happy when I just respond reactively. I don't think any of us are.
I was on Stern. Suck it, Chad. Hashtag Chad Nate. Were you really?
Is that Shitcock? Is that who that is? Is that Gonzo Shitcock?
I think so.
Or is he saying that I said that?
I don't know. There was no quote, so I don't think he's saying anything.
Okay. Well, I mean, the point's been made.
Shirley threw you under the bus over Bob's fake daughter. We talked it all out, IAC. We talked it all out. We had a long hour conversation, and it was a very productive conversation. And that's why we were on we're cool. We're totally cool.
If that was Gonzo Shitcock, that's exactly who and what I appreciate as a guest and a journalist. His cadence, his thoughtfulness, his way of pausing, his way of speaking. If you ever hear any of the conversations between Gonzo and Eric, it is wonderful. Really wonderful.
T.O. Hank, you're going to see this guy at Hackamania. You're going to see him.
Great.
You're going to meet him. FYI, Lucy Tightbox looks great in a bikini. I wouldn't know.
I've heard a lot about T.O. Hank. I'm excited to meet him.
He's a great guy. Really, he comes out to a lot of my shows. Big supporter. Great dude. This is mean. This is really mean, Adam.
How does Carl's semen taste, Adam?
You don't have to answer.
never met. We've never met.
It's Rich that truly calls Stuttering John a piece of shit all day when he employed ESO, whether he knew or not. It's the most vile crime in the Dabbleverse since Chad's stalking charge. Whoa! This isn't good.
Did you have a stalking charge? I didn't know about that.
Yeah, back in 2002 or 3. It was with my ex-girlfriend. It was a whole thing.
Well, that's usually who you stalk. That would be
Well, she was
correct.
cheating on me with this guy, and I busted her. And we got in a big, me and this guy got in a huge fight, and the cops were called. It was ugly. But literally.
How did it end up with you getting busted for stalking and not her for infidelity?
I mean, there's no crime against infidelity. It's
Yes,
me
you're
showing up at the guy's house, fighting him in the street.
Okay.
It was a crime of passion. And then I more or less, I had a public defender. It was a ugly time in my life. We're friends now, me and the lady. She's fine. She's happily married with kids. Yeah, it was so long ago. It was just, we reconnected.
Are you dating anyone?
Adam, do you find it concerning that Shuley surrounds himself with criminals, plays dumb when they go and commit more crimes? They still use his ESO email. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I do find that concerning. I mean, it doesn't show the best judgment, and you definitely should change that email.
Yes, yeah, you're on record by saying that email should be changed immediately, if not sooner. Hello?
Yeah, and I'd love to hear the Melton song. I don't know if that means I would never do the podcast because he wrote a song that I'm offended by.
How's that music career going, by the way? Better or worse than the acting? Wow, he's being a dick.
It's okay. It's going good. I don't have to promote it, but yeah, there's a new record out by Jamie Levine I produced. And, a new record by Ali Gertz that I've been promoting for a while, and I'm happy with them. And I encourage you all to listen to them on Spotify and on
what is
where
it?
you download music. Listen to Ali Gertz Peeled Back. I think you'll like that record.
Gertz.
Mm-hmm.
Ali Gertz Peeled Back.
Yes.
Oh,
you'll
came
like
right up. Who is this lady?
She was an editor at Mad Magazine and hosted a Simpsons podcast.
And you produced this song?
I produced the record.
Cool. What kind of music is it?
It's folk renditions of hard rock songs.
Okay. I'll listen to it. I'm always open to new things.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. I think
was your band was it a punk band? Were you guys like rock band?
No, it was always like folk nerdish rock stuff. It was very much along the lines of
Weezer,
in a way, but with acoustic instruments. We toured
Rivers
with They Might Be
Cuomo?
Giants and that kind of stuff. We brought them to Backstage Cafe after we played.
They Might
in
Be
LA.
Giants?
Yeah.
No way.
We had the after party for the John Ensign Ford gig at the Backstage
I wonder
Cafe.
if I was there.
This has got to be boring as fuck to people hearing us
No.
talk about They Might Be Giants and all this stuff. They want us to fight. We're supposed to be fighting.
Yeah, I'll start fighting in a second.
Okay.
Truly struck Mensa using ESO email. TSN still using. Okay, we're on record. They need to change that email.
Oh,
they need
and
to change the email.
if anybody were to ask me, I would tell them I'm not. I don't think the right move was saying anything about someone posting his show, his stand-up act. I don't agree with it. I think it's a wrong move. I see that it is not a live stream. It's a movie that he made and produced, Sennheiser. And to release that is a dick move. But for the Shuli Network to take issue with that is a little silly. Like, yes, there's a difference between that and what you've been doing to John and other people. But after how many years and how many hours of other people's content, you can't claim, how dare you when someone takes your thing and does it. And at that level, you learn it's good if anybody wants to listen to it and make fun of it or anything. It's just you need it out there. I have a movie I directed that I've been plugging is on these streaming services, and somebody took it and put it on YouTube. It's called Drones. But the point is, I don't care.
You
Good.
just want
Watch
eyes
it
on
on
it.
YouTube. Go
You want
ahead.
eyes.
Yeah. It's an indie film. It's an indie stand-up. Go. Get your name out there. Let people do whatever they want with it. You're lucky that they're watching it. You're lucky that they give a shit.
Yeah, if anybody wants anything controversial, I don't agree with Shuli striking that Menser Math or whatever it was called, the channel. I'm not on board with that, considering, it was a big deal when I struck the potato and Shuli told me I should remove the strike, and I did. And I didn't realize how serious it was at the time. I was new to streaming. This was all new to me. But now I realize after losing my Patreon and getting my channel struck how it could really affect your business. Shuli's producers have 1, attack the elderly, 2, dabble in child pornography, but to Chad, Shuli's a great dude. No problem with him. Listen, I'm just talking about my conversation I had with him. It was a very productive, nice conversation. It was sincere. It was coming from a good place. He wasn't bullshitting me. And he shared some things, and he's always been nice to me since. And that's that. I know you want me to fight with them, but I got to have a reason, man. I really do.
Yeah, but your morals can't be based on how nice they are to you. If we really are taking these, I'm a guy who occasionally works in TV that's on a comedian's live stream. And what has the topic been for the majority of this thing, right?
ESO.
So horrible, horrible things that you and I are forced to talk about all day long with no knowledge of what that might do to us or what our history was like or what that means to us.
Yeah, what about me?
Our family is. I know that's how you feel, but we can't have our big stands be based on how they are to us. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I can't say Patrick Melton's nice to me, so I'm not going to explore that and you don't have a point. I'm going to have to check it out, right? And I can say having ESO's email, not cool. I can say striking Mensa, not cool. I wouldn't have done it. I don't like that.
Patrick Melton writing a song about having sex with a 6-year-old, not cool.
If that's what happened, yeah, I can say that. And I can also say that doesn't mean that he's a PDF file that should go to prison. And it doesn't mean I can.
I sure would like him to be, though. I really would. I would love.
We know that. We know that.
And
that's what becomes apparent because people feel so strongly about this topic until there's an opportunity for it to go away. Like, everyone's hoping for it to be bad. Like, no one talks about, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but like, there are victims, there are parents, there's like a whole thing there that we're not even, we want it to be as bad as possible so we can take down that guy whose jokes we don't like because he says pussy fart in his stand-up and it's cringy.
Here's an acting question. You can answer this.
What's harder to remember? Oh, yeah, the emotion, definitely.
Can you make yourself cry on cue?
Yeah.
Thanks for showing weakness. I don't know what that means.
Well, he found one.
Carlo's just rolling this dork out to rival shows for content for his show, right, Chad? Okay. So they're all convinced this is all Carl's doing.
Well, that makes sense. It's what I've been doing. So what would I use, and what would my take on this be? How would I humiliate you?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm excited to see what comes out of this. I was nervous because I don't know what's going to happen. Carlo's already rehearsing. What's he going to say? Oh my God! You got to admit, Carl has nerd energy, right?
I mean, I remember I thought it was the funniest thing in the world when how do I say this? Tell me the question again.
Carl has nerd energy, right?
John used to rail about everyone. They think they're so cool. They're the cool guys. And it's like, man, WATP and everyone here and everyone that made fun of John are a lot of things, but cool is not the word I would use to describe them. And I don't think any of these white, nerdy, out-of-shape guys with glasses are talking about how cool they are. I would say that's on you.
Well, I disagree because I have it on record where I played it countless times of Carl saying he was cool.
That he was Marty McFly.
He was Marty McFly. He played the guitar. He skateboarded. And he was cool. So
I think what he was trying to say was that he wasn't a handicapped recluse because of his clubfoot.
Yes.
When that was the implication. I think it was John who was, in fact, very, very cool in high school. So cool that kids wore the T-shirt of his band. He was a celebrity in high school. That's pretty cool.
He's always been a celebrity.
Yeah.
Adam, did you attend Sam Levine's wedding? Wife is huge. What? Who's this?
I don't know. Plate of shrimp.
I don't know who this is. In the history of the Dabbleverse, Chad and Truly punking Stuttering John with fake super chats is the top 3 highlight. I agree. That was fun. That was another thing that just kind of organically happened while basically John insisted I be the very first guest on his Hypocrisy Police show. And I was done with John at this point. I was like, this guy won't stop calling me. He won't leave me alone. And I've said no to him 5 times, but he insisted. So I didn't want to be there. And I go on the show, and he's annoying. He's driving me crazy. I want to leave. I send my buddy Tony Mazur the link, and next thing you know, we're fucking with him. And I didn't realize at the time the Shuli Network was sniping it, and I pretend like I was getting fake super chats, and they start sending them to me. And it was, did you see it, Adam?
I was wondering for so long, like I was with KB, I was like, what is the appeal? Like, when are their comedians? Are they ever going to say anything funny? Like, are they going to do anything funny? It was the same way with Opie. I was like, I don't get what his talent was. But then when I saw you moderating them fighting and the way you see, I was like, oh, now I get it. That was really funny. I remember when you put your head down like that and you just let him go. Like you were saying, you have to listen. People don't like that when you listen, but it's a natural instinct for a host and entertainer, and it's what's necessary. And
well, I knew the moment
saw it
was
there.
The moment was so big; it was bigger than me. Like I knew that was what people wanted, so I just got to sit back and let that thing happen.
Yeah, but unfortunately, that was the last we saw of that guy, and you go right to being the John that you're making fun of, and I don't understand why.
I mean, it's hard for Adam to pretend he has emotions like a real person. Wow.
No, we know what you meant, Deep Surface. It wasn't lost on us. I'm like Mark Zuckerberg, exciting about having my first cup of coffee in Vegas. That should be fun.
You've never been to Vegas?
No, of course I've been there.
Oh. Also, Shirley's podcast mentor and the reason for moving to Alabama. Conrad Thompson is a known woman beater. He's also Ric Flair's son-in-law. The Nature Boy Ric Flair. Yeah, Conrad Thompson was a guy who, I think he's in mortgages or something, but he's heavily involved in wrestling, and he's married to Ric Flair's daughter. But I was not aware that he was a woman beater at all. So I don't know what else to say. This Shuli guy is a controversial topic. They want answers. They want blood, and I don't know what to give these people.
Give them the blood that they're asking for, and maybe it'll satiate them. It made me, looking at John, being from Long Island, having been a fan of the Howard Stern Show, and grown up around the same time, having known a lot of the musicians that were in John's band, all of it made me feel like I had an opinion or some just experience that would help weigh in on these conversations we were having about John. And as they extend to what it's like to work with monsters in Hollywood, again, I'll invite you to look at my resume and see that this is something I've been having to contend with since I was a child and not even aware of it. And now that I'm an adult and aware of it, having seen these documentaries on Kevin Spacey and being like, this is what we've been saying for decades, and seeing it play out in a documentary exactly how you said it was, is not validating. It's not fun. It doesn't make me go, good. All you want is for things to change. So it made me think, well, maybe I have an opinion on some of this stuff that might be worth weighing in. But no, people, that have none are going to tell me what my experience was like and how I'm supposed to feel about it and how other people are supposed to handle it, because there's a right way and a wrong way to deal with it. And I don't claim to know, and I'm just shocked that other people do.
Hey, Adam, you used to be somebody, and go.
All right.
Is that my interview? Is that what he's trying to say?
If you let the chat decide how your show is, then yeah, that's it. We're done.
Adam is a turd whisperer. It's
true.
I don't know what that means. I don't. This guy's really he wants you to know things.
Am I the only one feeling this deep surface? Is it just me, or are we like, this is something special?
Something's going on with this deep surface.
I like it.
Well, I got to be honest with you, Adam. I enjoyed this conversation with you today. I didn't know what to expect. I got to be honest. I was a little cautious. I didn't know, but I felt like I got to know you a little bit better. Adam, which creepy producer reminds you of Shuli? Jesus Christ.
Oh, not just by name only. Norman Jewison.
It's very Jewy.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Tigger. But yeah, listen, this was a little outside the box, and I appreciate you accepting the link and being cool.
How did this go? Who won? And how will our respective party lines feel about this? Will they feel like their hero won, or will they feel that they were let down, or is there a general consensus about what happened here?
That's what I'm curious.
Well, your opinion matters, and if you have one, you can express it now.
Did I jump the gun? Am I a Shuli ball washer? Am I a fraud? Am I in bed with the enemy? Like what? I want to know the answers too. I don't know. I just saw a guy who was I thought he was compelling on Carl's podcast. He made it better, and we had some mutual stories. I just wanted to get to know him a little bit and find out what's going on. I don't know. What about you, Adam? Where do you stand? The man of emotion.
Specifically, what do you mean?
With this, what are you coming out of this conversation? How you feeling? Like, what are you gonna say? How would you say it went?
How would I say it went? I think it went pretty much as expected, if not a little better. I think I've always known. I've seen it in when you talk about people that there were certain things that we just agreed upon. There were certain ways you saw people that I was like, oh yeah, I see it and I enjoy it. And I would watch you for the John coverage because I just have a unhealthy addiction to John coverage. And when you would do that, it would, I liked it. But again, when it would turn on you, it was just everything would change. And
I would lose you.
Blinded to it. And it was
I lost you.
Yeah, personal and insincere and wrong. You know what I mean? Like wrong. it makes us not trust all of your other opinions because you're so blind to that. You know, I can sit here all day long, have you seen, and say, Shuli's wrong about this, he's wrong about this, he's wrong about this. It doesn't help, right? People, it doesn't make them go, oh, okay, well, he's seeing some sides of this. They're going to feel how they're going to feel, and it's not going to change. And I don't like seeing that in you. I wish it doesn't make for good comedy. It doesn't make for a good show. It just makes for, you know, more hate and declining ratings. And if you focused on being funny and being honest and not just fighting a war, I don't know. Maybe
fight the war, fuck the norm. What's your Venmo, Adam? Are you allowed to put it out there?
Oh, I'll send it to you if you want it.
I want to put it up too.
It's not necessary.
But I'm going to. But what is it? Or do you want to keep it private?
Yeah, I would have to look it up. I don't even know.
Okay, yeah, send it to me. I appreciate it, sincerely. I know you could have done anything today. We got a couple more that came in. Let me get these real quick. Where are my words too big, Chad? Shut the fuck up and take my money. I did. Thank you very much. I'm going to send Adam. What's the funniest thing Carl's ever said? Go. Yeah, that's a great question.
I mean, not like Howard
Stern. Oh, my
Stern.
God, look at Opie. Opie's an idiot. Oh, my God, Opie's an idiot. That's the funniest thing.
It's a lot of energy. It's a lot.
Yeah, it's my Carl impression.
It always feels more about you than him when you do that because there's so much coming
committing.
out there. I think of him like Howard Stern. I don't think of him as a comedian. I just think of him as a broadcaster who knows how to move a show along. I don't think of him like a comic, like Mad Dog Russo or anybody else. Just a broadcaster. But that's just me. Doesn't mean they're not funny. Howard Stern's funny, but I wouldn't want to see him do stand-up. It's more about taste and creating situations and opinions.
Stern's contract's up at the end of the year. I wonder if SiriusXM's going to renew it.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
What's going to happen there?
Because they're slashing everything over there. They're losing money. And then that's the big one. Stern, you know, is he going to come back? I don't know. We'll see. Should I denounce Shuli in a support for child? Yes, I denounce the support of child abuse. I denounce that for sure.
When you put it that way, Chris.
Adam, somehow you always win me over. You're like a Jedi. You do have like a Jedi vibe. Very, like you said, you choose your words carefully. You don't speak. You don't react. You think, and then you talk.
There's a guy from a band called Kettle Cadaver, and it's like a torture porn band from Petaluma, California, that were like heroes to Gigi Allen and all those guys. And this guy like rips his... the first time he performed as a singer, he stapled his mouth shut. For real. On stage.
Jesus.
And that's what he does. And his name is Edwin Borsham. And it's not my kind of music or thing, but this guy named Jai Love made an incredible documentary about it. It's called Dead Hands Dig Deep. And I met this guy. And he's somebody who, like all the things that Marilyn Manson does pretend, he does for real. Like he wears the things that rip his eyes apart.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's horrific. And I interviewed him for a Q&A at the premiere of this documentary about him. And it was sold out. And I asked him, what did you think of this film about you? And he just went like that. And I was kind of embarrassed and humiliated because everyone wanted to hear what he thought. He hadn't been in public in decades. And he wouldn't talk to me. So I talked to the director for a while. And then when that was done, he said, oh, okay. And I said, yes. And then he said the most beautiful, eloquent, poignant thing I'd ever heard. And I learned something in that moment that I'd rather look like a fool in that moment and have you come back to me than say something that I regret. And at the end of the night, I remember him looking at me and he said, you know, we're not as different as you think we are. And then 2 weeks later, he killed himself.
Oh, my God.
Right?
Holy, wow. I didn't see that coming. That's crazy.
Yeah. So I pause a little bit if I'm not sure. And I'd rather you think me a fool than say something that you can then turn into a clip to have me saying something I don't mean. I don't want that.
Wow. Were you familiar with the Germs?
Yeah. Big fan.
Yeah. I didn't realize how... I've been watching a bunch of... going down these rabbit holes of the Germs. I didn't realize how Pat Schmier was like... everyone loved him as a punk guitar player. I had no clue.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much, Chad. This has been really great.
Yes.
And I look forward to seeing you soon.
All right, everybody. It's Adam Bush. Go follow him. Thank you so much. That was great. Who saw that coming? Who saw that coming? No one guessed Adam Bush. I think Mason in Portland did. It was fun. It was interesting. I didn't expect this to go so long. I didn't get to anything. We didn't do drunk dials. We didn't do hype trains. We did nothing. I was in the conversation. I was in the conversation. John Riley says, it was great, Chad. Jesse Angel says, we'd rather have Ashley on. Ashley Cummings is in the chat. I see her. I might be doing a show with Ashley on Friday night. We're in talks. My people are talking to her people. So we might do a Friday night hang. Pest says Chad is for sure a Shuli guy now. Why would you say that? Why would you say I'm a Shuli guy now? I think this was a very anti-Shuli chat today. And I think we answered a lot of questions, a lot of hard questions. I think it was an honest conversation. There was no emotion behind it. Bo Beardington saying Chad knew. Did I? Did I? Full disclosure, I knew everything about ESO. He told me. I was helping him. I was moving photos. No, shut up. You guys are out of your mind. Kudos to Chad for a good interview. He gets 3 gold stars. Thank you very much. Doodle says he trolled you. I don't think he did. I think he was interested. And I think it was a good conversation. I don't see the troll in it. I really don't. If anything, he got trolled in the chat with the super chats. Shannon's Unacceptable View says, it was a great interview. Very honest and well presented. Keep it real, Chad. Chad is a great platform. Tom Myers says, good interview. Still seems suspect to me, but my mind can be changed. Obviously, you got to keep your guard up. You know, he's on the enemy show, Carl. So the guard was up, but I watched enough Adam behind the scenes. I watched him, and I don't think it's coming from a bad place. I saw him with Jake Hudson, and that's what really kind of, you could tell that he was very nice and empathetic to him, his situation. Bo Beardington was good, Chad. If Bo Beardington liked it, I liked it. Doodle, we're going to get out of here. I guess KB's up. I don't want him to think I'm going up against him, and then he'll, he heard Melton's song and videos before. He clearly trolls you. No, I don't see it. I didn't see it. Trust me, my head was on a swivel. I was waiting for it. Thank you very much to everyone that participated in the program today and the super chats. I'm going to send Adam something because he didn't have to do that, and I feel guilty considering he was a big part of this episode. Thank you. But what did you learn today on the show? There was a lot to learn. We learned Nick in Fort Wayne knew. We learned he knew. They learned I knew. Let's just say I have a cameo at Hackamania this weekend. I'll just leave it at that. We learned that Adam trolled you, and I'm sorry you didn't see it. No, Doodle, he didn't. How? How did he troll? How? I learned Adam agrees with KB about paying gas. Pineapple. What else did we learn? I learned Adam is a fan of mine on this interview anyway. He's aware of you, Tom Myers. He's aware of you. We're all aware of you. We learned Kevin is about to go full mental after this interview. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen. We learned that Adam blames everyone except himself for not getting acting gigs. Doodle hates Adam Bush. She hates him. I learned to watch Hackamania this weekend for Chad's drunk emails. I'm sure they're going to be lies. We learned Chad doesn't know how to troll. We learned Adam is a gentleman. I thought he was fine. MLC is sniping. Looks like this teacher has become, or the student has become the teacher. I'm wrapping up, Kevin. You can have it all. We learned that Kevin Brennan is pissed. Why? Why? Why is he mad? I learned I like Adam as a guest. Seems legit honest. Yes, that's what I took away. We learned Chad will hate Adam after this weekend. Well, I'm here for it. I'm looking forward to hating him if there's a reason to. And again, like going back to Shuli, like, give me a reason and I'm in. Do something. You know, when we had the sniping thing and all that thing happened, we had a conversation on the phone for an hour and hashed it out like men and talked. Chad Buzmock wants my attention so bad. We learned Chad has fake viewers 700 to 200. No, MLC's on, bro. So they're all over there now. They're over there now, buddy. You're going to have to keep trying. And it's never going to work. Make me laugh, Buzmock. Make me laugh, and I'll laugh. No, I thought it was a conversation. I said, let's talk. Figure it out. What's going on? I still don't like Carl. That hasn't changed. I think Carl's a snake. He's a weasel. Nothing's changed. I think CUMIA'S an egomaniac. I think he's a narcissist. He's a scumbag. He's a cheater. None of this has changed. Chrissy Mayer's still not funny. Nothing's changed. I don't know what to tell you guys. We learned Melton makes Chad feel. Yeah. Yeah. I want to know where he found that. Like he came up with that little thing and he wanted to make that a thing so bad. That's right. Great show. Hit the like button. We're out, bitches. Thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed the show. God bless. We'll be back with Drunk Dials, Hype Trains, and all the great stuff tomorrow. Bye.
It's time for the CUCKS. Time for CUMIA'S CUCKS. The mud shark is coming to say your show sucks. Chrissy and Gino and the dork named Carl kissing up to Anthony while they're washing his balls. Steel toe, I see some balls you can wash. What's wrong, April? I thought it was squashed. I thought it was squashed.